Hi guys, how you doing? So you're looking at this video, you're watching this video because you may want to improve some of your literacy or some of your writing. More specifically, you want to improve some of the mechanics of your writing. So that's exactly what we're going to do in this video. We are not going to talk about science. We are purely going to talk about these sentences here and how we can tweak them to make them better. A couple of things first. I'm going to use some vocabulary. If you don't know what some of these words mean, pause the video now and check them out. I'll probably break them down a little bit during the video anyway. These are the three things we're going to go through today, or the three focus areas. I'll bounce around between them. Nominalization, personal pronouns, and precise and concise language. The reason I'm focusing on them is these are the three main things that you'll probably want to tweak in your writing to improve it in a Prac Report. So just before I move on, these three things, like I said, they're very important in Prac Reports. There are lots of different genres or text types out there. There's a narrative text type and an essay text type, and there's a letter, that's a text type, and blogs, they're another text type. They all have different conventions or slightly different rules on how you write in them. Sometimes they're a bit loose, sometimes they're really specific. But with a Prac Report, there are some real specificities in there. And we're going to go through some of those. So before we do that, let's check out our register continuum. Now, you guys have seen this before, but I just want to touch on it really quickly. This is going to tell you how you need to write. If you're unsure about how you have to write in a text type, go visit your register continuum. Or if you need to justify why you need to write, or think why the teacher's banging on about writing formally, come check out the register continuum and it will tell you why. I'll walk you through it. This end of the continuum is informal. This end of the continuum is formal, obviously, as in formal writing, informal writing, or even informal speaking, whatever. So I know for a fact that the subject matter of this text type is going to be pretty technical. It's not everyday. It's not about some, reality program that was on TV last night. I know for a fact that it's technical. Don't worry about the abstract part. That's more for the grey area of English. So we know we're going to live up here. It's probably not going to get any more technical, in fact. So we're living right up here. Roles and relationships. This means what's your role as the writer and what's your relationship with the audience. So you're not familiar with the audience. I know the teacher's marking it and you know them, but the idea is this is a Prac Report. In the real world, this is a Prac Report that could be read by some other professional on the other side of the world and used to further their investigations or their science or whatever. So the audience is unfamiliar. You are the expert. All right. You are not novice. You are the expert. So you're living right up here. Mode of communication is written. And again, it's not shared with someone. It's distant, as in you're going to write this and it's going to get a life of its own. It's going to disappear off onto the internet and someone's going to be reading it that will never, ever know who you are, personally. So not spoken, not shared. So from those three things, we know that this has to be pretty freaking formal. All right. So let's start doing it. I am going to only look at a few paragraphs. All right. Let's look at this one together and bear with me. This is my second run through of this video. So there we go. Let's look at this first sentence. There's a couple of reasons why this sentence is not as good as it could be. First reason is this first word here, the personal pronoun we. There's a reason why we are writing in a passive voice. As soon as you start inserting yourself into the Prac Report or inserting yourself into the essay, or whatever it is you're writing that should be passive and formal, you are diluting the importance and the weight of your facts because it's beginning to become an op-ed piece. Is your opinions being inserted in it? We want your opinion out of there. We want you out of there. We want this to be all about the facts. So let's get rid of those personal pronouns. The second thing that we're going to look at is this word here, investigating. That's a verb. We want to make it a noun. Now, there's nothing wrong with verbs. I don't hate verbs. You have to have a verb in every sentence. It can't exist without it. In fact, every clause needs a verb. But if we change some of these verbs to nouns, it's going to make our writing more formal. So we're going to nominalize this verb. Just a couple other reasons why nominalization is a really good thing. Yes, one, it's going to make us sound more formal. Two, usually it makes us be more precise with our language, because we have to use, think about the word that we're using. Three, it forces us to be more concise with our language. We have to use one word often instead of five. So instead of saying, like this is the example I used in the intertextual one, the cutting down of trees, 5 words, I'm just going to say deforestation. Way better. It creates noun groups. Okay, so once you've got the noun, you can chuck a few adjectives in front of it, and you can create a really descriptive, make it a very specific noun. And what was the last thing I was going to say? No, I think I've covered it. All right, time to move along. So let's change this investigating to its noun equivalent, which is investigation. Quick tip, probably 50% of your nominalizations will end in a shin. So I'm going to change that to investigation, and that's going to force me to get rid of that personal pronoun. That's the cool thing about nominalization as well. So I've got one that I've already done for us. I'm going to copy it. So instead of we are investigating the effect of temperature on enzymes, I'm going to change it to this investigation observes the effect of temperature on enzymes. Yes, I've chucked in another word, a more precise word in there, but you need to make it work. So, first example, let's look at our second one. It's this hypothesis here. We can fix that up a little bit as well. If the tofu is stored in a warmer environment, then the rate of decomposing will increase. Okay, fair enough. But can we make this more precise? Can we, not necessarily precise, but I'm talking about language here. Can we make our language more precise? We can, to a degree, we can make it sound more formal, by changing, again, a couple of verbs. So our verbs here are stored. Well, the verbs I want are stored, and decomposing. So if you use our little chukashin, chukakan, if you use our little chukashin tip, you'll be able to turn decomposing into decomposition. So we'll change that in a minute. And this stored here, remember we're in past tense, right? It'll be storage. So I'm going to get my little cheat sentence that I've already done for us. I'm going to improve this sentence again by turning those verbs into nouns. We're going to nominalize them. If tofu storage temperature is increased, let me just highlight that. If tofu storage temperature is increased, jeepers, then the rate of the decomposition will increase. Cool. Let's keep on moving. So we've nominalized a few verbs. We've removed a personal pronoun. Skip. Let's just get down to this one. Now, the reason I'm picking on this sentence here is, remember I wanted to talk about, we've talked about that, we've talked a bit about that. I want to talk about this here. Now, again, the concise part of it, by nominalizing, it's going to force us to be concise. That's why nominalization is so cool. But we want to be precise. This is all about word choice now. So I'm not happy with this word right here. Again, it's a verb. I know I'm picking on the little buggers, but looking, that's flaky. Let's think of a more precise word than looking. So I've got my little cheat sentence. Again, what did I have? I like observes. You might like something else. That's fine. That's why we've got billions of words that mean the same thing. But let's be really precise with our language. Cool. This experiment observes temperature's effects on pH mixture and enzymes. Lovely. I'm going to do the next bit. We're going back to personal pronouns again because we don't want them. Vote no, personal pronoun. So I want to get rid of this. I found that the evidence was showing that the effect of heat energy on the pH solution and enzymes will peak around 22.5 degrees and gradually decrease to 40 degrees. Oh my God. There's a few things that we can fix in this sentence. First of all, let's fix the I. Again, the fact that the personal pronoun is in there is totally diluting the validity of this data because it's making it sound like it's an opinion. We don't want to hear about it. We don't want to hear about you. Let's use this. Now, there's two things going on here. Before I punch this sentence in, let's have a look at how many these are in this sentence. And that's one of the other things that we want to try and fix. Remember how I said we're talking about precision? This precision of language is not only the words that you are choosing, but it's the words that you're cutting out that you do not need. There are sometimes lots of those. The more informally, the more you hang out in this sort of spoken world, the more words you're going to use that are unnecessary. The more you live up here, the more precise, concise you're going to be. So let's read that again. I found that the evidence was showing that the effect of heat energy on the pH solution and enzymes will peak around 22.5 and blah, blah, blah. We don't need all those thes. I know you need to put often a the in front of a noun, but you don't need to all the time. Okay, so let's see what we can do if we remove a couple of those thes and we get rid of the personal pronoun. The evidence showed that the effect of heat energy on pH solution and enzymes will peak around 22.5 degrees and gradually decrease to 40 degrees. So I have got rid of a couple of thes. I have got rid of the personal pronoun. And as you can see from the length of it, it's become more concise. We've got rid of about 3 words there. Fantastic. Okay, so just in summary, those tricks you learnt today, and this is the main one, nominalization, if you can wrap your head around them and use them just a little bit more often, what will happen eventually is you won't even consciously be making these choices. You only need to do it at the start when you're editing yourself. But if you can wrap your head around how to do that, that's going to help you immensely. Like 100% if you're living down here. You chuck that trick in there and you'll be, the normalization trick, and you'll improve your writing straight away. Don't forget, get rid of personal pronouns. They dilute your validity. And this is what we want. Precision of language and concise language. Use less words to say more with our old mate normalization. Cool. Thanks for that. Ciao.